Another time, coming back for what I left behind. I knew you when the old boys were just a jug band on the high lane. That was a lie, but I remember how you used to shine. I guess that's why they say that love is blind. Rolling down the road in the back of a pickup, talking about the future like there's never gonna be one. We'd keep playing till Orion packed it in with a sigh. Reckon me well, just keep me right where we left off. When you moved on, what did you find? I bet it's what you lost in even time. You only get back what you're giving kind. And we were rolling down the road in the back of a pickup truck, looking for the perfect place where we could just pull over and sing the blues all night long. La, 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 la.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 7 of the Nightly Launch. Hope you had a good holiday weekend and you didn't blow your hand off. Hope your hangover has subsided and you're getting back, into the swing of the week. We're very happy to officially have our full week of nightly shows completed. Tonight's going to be a really good one. Just want to remind everyone to really reflect on why we love music. And if you've ever had a tragic loss and you listen to music and it made you feel better, if you ever had a breakup or just you have a really tough day and you listen to a song that just cheered you up and made you feel all warm and fuzzy, that was a musician who did that. So we're all about supporting musicians, and we're building a platform right now that's going to be a home for artists, and we're working on simplifying the value chain and creating a better world where musicians are truly valued and fairly compensated. That is our mission. So if you want to learn more, please check us out on WeFunder. I'm going to throw the link in the chat. And we'll throw the link on screen. Just click that. And now I will tell you what amazing stuff we have coming up on tonight's episode of the Nightly Launch. Coming up first, this was from our Solidarity Fest a few weeks back. Wonderful artist introduced to us by our friend Kyle. Shout out to Kyle. Cello Joe. Who is Cello Joe? Well, he plays cello while beatboxing, looping, and singing. It's classical hip hop with cello. He creates fatty beats with a cello and his mouth. That's it. And he does it live, and it sounds great. Not only is he a very talented, innovative artist, he is a cyclist, and he has biked over 10,000 miles all over the world. His lyrics weave together lots of progressive ideas with a major focus on sustainability, environmental justice, and social awareness. They entertain, educate, inspire, and make you wonder. By beatboxing, throat singing, singing, plucking, and bowing the cello, Cello Joe can mimic many styles of music, from dubstep to folk to rock to classical to hip hop. We love Cello Joe. We think you will too. Here is his performance from Solidarity Fest. Enjoy.
Thank you so much. We got our next act coming up next. Cello Joe.
Hello.
How you doing, brother? Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes, that is correct.
All right,
Cello
man, I like that.
Joe.
It's a funky head.
There's no H in cello, but there is always room for cello. Bye,
Gotcha.
Bonita. That was amazing. Yeah, so what do? I just start playing here?
Oh, no, you good. No, you good. You good. So I just want to compliment you on your hat, number one. It's the first thing that caught my attention, man. So your wardrobe is amazing.
Right
Love
on.
it.
Thank you.
But yeah, man, I just want to say thank you for coming to launchglobal.tv, where we strive to, provide a humanitarian message around the globe, letting people know that, we're all one, we're all together. Outside of that, we wanted to see, just tell the world more about your music, tell the world more about yourself, and kind of where you stand in these times and where the world is right now.
All right. Well, my name is Joey Chang. I also go by Cello Joe. And I live in Oakland, California. And I have been sheltering in place here since about mid-March. And where I stand with the world right now is just message of peace and love.
That's amazing. So let's show the world some peace and love, man. Let's go. Show the world some peace and love, man.
All right. Peace and love through music.
Let's do it.
Survive. And when we work together, our culture will thrive. The media's controlling us with their scared tactics. Problems everywhere, the situation's drastic. There's a hole in the ozone and the ocean's full of plastic. Pipelines are leaking and the oil is peaking. Climate catastrophes making these disasters, and we are all slaves for some corporate masters. People around the world living in fear, but things are often not what they appear. With the power of our song, we're not afraid to let our light shine. We're not afraid to let our light shine bright through the darkest night. Seems like the forces of darkness are closing around us. The people are losing the trust in the government, and our politicians are bent and crooked as ever. The current flavor is fascist pie. Slow motion race riot stinks of genocide. And it makes me wanna hide, it makes me wanna cry. Curl up inside, but I gotta keep my head up. Never give up on hope, even if it's hard to cope with the constant stream of bad news giving me the blues. But it's up to me to choose to hide in the dark or to shine my light bright. We the people, we are strong. We the people with the power of our songs. We're not afraid to let our light shine. We're not afraid to let our light shine bright through the darkest night. Don't be afraid to let your light shine. 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 Shine your light, shine it bright. Shine your light, shine it bright. Shine. Light shine. I ain't afraid of the future, I know we'll survive. And when we work together, our culture will thrive. The media's controlling us with their scare tactics. Problems everywhere and the situation's drastic. There's a hole in the ozone and the ocean's full of plastic. Pipelines are leaking, now the oil is peaking. Climate catastrophes making these disasters. And we're all slaves for some corporate masters. People around the world living in fear, but things are either not what they appear. We gotta shine our light. Shine our light. Shine our light. luxury. I don't wanna leave, no, don't wanna go. I like my AM, FM radio, 'cause it's got amplitude modulation, a frequency modulation. There's a war on nature for world domination. It's nature domination. Drive around that fat BMW ride, and there's nothing I can do to hold back the tide. 'Cause mass production's a recipe for destruction. But coming home to a heated house and a beautiful, lovely spouse is so nice. And for my luxury, I will engage in any vice. See no reason, there's no need to believe in sin or repent from my greed, 'cause I'm going to win this getting more stuff game. Consumerism is its name, and it's so lame.
And I want to have it all, need that new
day with my homies, eating food that's good. Cause it's gold mine in my neighborhood. And if we work together, we can change the weather. The planet's getting hotter, but we gotta make it cooler now. If we work together, we can make things better. The planet's getting hotter, we gotta make it cooler now. If we work together, we can change the weather. The planet's getting hotter, but we gotta make it cooler now. If we work together, we can change the weather. The planet's getting hotter, but we gotta make it cooler now. All right, yeah. I think I have time for maybe one more tune. This one is all about communication and control. While you're seeking after fame, these numbers never add up, they don't seem to compute. Cause there's a kitty in pajamas and it's just too cute. This facial recognition's taking over free reign. Now the blockchain is pouring the champagne, while the dark web is doing the profane. Now the troll culture's blowing up the Ukraine. Who controls your algorithm? 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 Watch what they want you to watch. Who controls your algorithm? Hear what they want you to hear. Who controls your algorithm? Click where they want you to click. Who controls your algorithm? Buy what they want you to buy. Scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, tapping and tapping and tapping, tapping and tapping and tapping, clicking and clicking, clicking and clicking. Yeah, we're scrolling. Oh yeah, we're scrolling, scrolling, we're scrolling. Advertising to alter our fate, computing in the clouds just just to sway the crowds. These memes propagating on all of the streams. Now who controls your algorithm? Watch what they want you to watch. Controls your algorithm. Hear what they want you to hear. Controls your algorithm. Click where they want you to click. Controls your algorithm. Like what they want you to like. Controls your algorithm. Hate what they want you to hate. Who controls your algorithm? Buy what they want you to buy. They buy what they want you to buy. You buy what they want you to buy. You buy what they want you to buy. Gotta work on that ending there. There we go. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that.
Man, you did great, man. That was amazing.
Thank you. Thanks,
Amazing.
Joshua.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And how long you been doing music, man?
Oh, geez. I think I've been playing for 30 years now.
Wow. And that style is very keen, man. I love it, man. I felt a little Bob Dylan in there.
Yeah. Songwriting. Just writing about what I see. I grew up in the South Bay in California near Silicon Valley area. So I used to play on the street a lot. And a lot of my lyrics come from that experience, you know, just playing on the street, meeting people that were living on the street, and, you know, writing songs about what I saw.
That's amazing, man. That should be heard, man. That should definitely be heard. Let the people know how they can follow you, man. Let the people know how they can stay in touch with you.
Okay. It's easy to follow me. It's just Cello Joe, CELLOJOE. That's my website. That's me on Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Spotify, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, Mixcloud. Am I forgetting any? TikTok.
Yeah, YouTube.
YouTube. I'm on basically every social media platform I can be. What I use most is Instagram, though.
Okay, perfect. And if anybody wants to hit you up or, you know, do some business with you, they can just message you on Instagram.
Yeah, that's easy. My email and my phone number are posted on my website too, just cellojoe.com.
All right, perfect, man. Perfect. Thank you so much, Cello Joe. I think we have.
Awesome. That was next level. We very much thank Joe for that. Coming up next, this is going to be fun. So, since COVID started, it's been really hard for artists to get together. So I was very, very happy when a friend of mine, Nate, from the band Cousin Earth, invited me to go to a jam session in a Brooklyn studio called Danbro Studios, where I've played for many years, and a lot of local Brooklyn musicians like to play. I could not make the jam, unfortunately, so I asked if he would record it and if we could share it as part of our nightly launch. So here it is, and this is with Tom and Angelo from the Brooklyn jam band Sprocket, along with Nate from Cousin Earth, and they have joined forces for this completely improvised jam that we're about to share. This recording captures the first notes they played after abstaining because months and months of quarantine. So it's fresh, it's lively, it's groovy, it's funky, and dig it. Here's Tom and Angelo from Sprocket and Nate from Cousin Earth playing a completely improvised quarantine jam. Exciting stuff. Dig it. You're watching launchglobal.tv. Wow. That was fun. Coming up next, we are going to share one of our workshop programs, and this is a workshop where me and a musician and technologist named Claire Lim, who we love, we actually had a wonderful conversation and a little workshop on live streaming and what does it mean, how do you get involved, what is it, if you have no idea, if you've never done it, what are the ways to start, what are some of the equipment, what are some of the platforms, what's some of the software, some of the websites. It's live streaming is not easy. So we had a wonderful conversation. So if you want to learn more about live streaming, check this out. Education, empowering artists is a big part of launch. So I invite you to check out our WeFunder. There should be a link below. And if you want to be a part of this, you can check that out and become a part of the team. And I invite you to invest in the company. We're tackling the behemoth that is the music industry, and that's not easy. We need funding, we need support. So if you can help us, $100, if you toss us $100, that would make a difference. And if you can't, we still love you and we still appreciate you, and we're happy to have you tuning in. Without further ado, this is Workshop Wednesday. This was from right in the beginning of COVID, and this was with Claire Lim, who's also known as dolltr, as a virtuoso live electronic music performer and multi-instrumentalist. dolltr creates dynamic on-stage sets that are dance-inducing, heart-wrenching, and spirit-lifting, carrying influences from Disclosure, Toki Monsta, and others. Her palette of dreamy synths, punchy drums, and crystal clear vocals lets her paint auditory experiences that seamlessly meld electronica, pop, future, bass, and dance music. dolltr, aka Claire Lim, is also a Ableton certified trainer. She's an award-winning classical pianist, and she is from Singapore, and she lives in Queens. So love Claire, love dolltr. We're very happy to do this workshop on live streaming, and here it is. It's coming up right now. Check it out. Going live. All right.
Cool.
Setting up
Awesome.
and
Great.
probably are live. Let's just hang on one sec to wait for it to load. And looks like we are live.
Yay!
So
Awesome.
I'm gonna pop back out of the ether. Hello, welcome everyone. This is Launch Global, and we're here with Claire Lim, a dear friend and a wonderful technologist. And we are here to talk about something really important for everyone. So hey, welcome Claire. How have you been? How's your quarantine going?
Thanks so much, Brian. I'm really excited to be here. Thanks for having me. My quarantine's been going okay. I mean, the interesting thing about I think for a lot of musicians and maybe independent artists like such as myself and people who do a lot of freelance music type work is that a lot of the time my work is from home. So it's kind of like, okay, nothing's changed too much, but definitely not being able to go out and exercise is a huge one. So they're trying to exercise like in my house, in my small apartment. But other than that, the quarantine's been good. I mean, I think anyone who's staying at home is really doing a great contribution by staying home and flattening the curve. So that's always something nice to consider. And how's your quarantine been going?
It's going. All things considered, I think it would definitely suck a lot more if we weren't all going through this together.
Sure.
And as difficult as it is nice to really feel everyone looking out for each other. And I feel like, especially in our community of creators and artists, we're really seeing a paradigm shift, and we're seeing people caring more about really providing for their community than any kind of bottom line. And that really brings us into this conversation Obviously, we're talking today about live streaming. For anyone that's just joined us, thanks for tuning in. Please follow Launch. Please follow Claire here. You can find her dolltr, and the I is an exclamation point.
That's correct. Yeah.
Claire here is a music technologist, a live experience designer who has worked with Grammy-nominated, Billboard charting artists under her artist name dolltr, who is super dope. Please check her out.
Thank you.
Claire, of course, thank you. Claire performs dynamic sets of live electronic music with controllerism, vocals, vocoding, all kinds of loops and drum machines and effects. Super, super neat. And Claire actively shares her content through various streaming platforms. So there was a word in there, live streaming. So Claire, how did you get involved with live streaming? And, tell us a little bit about, your relationship with live streaming and your setup.
Totally, yeah. So my relationship with live streaming has, interestingly enough, been kind of like it's been progressing very quickly over the last couple of months, just because I started being a lot more active. And this was just around the time that the coronavirus was actually starting to spread. So it was before everything went into lockdown, but just before that. And I started doing a lot of these streams, not just for musical stuff, but also sometimes to just chat with people and chat with people who listened to my music. So quote unquote fans, but like people who listened to the things that I created. And then I started doing these things on Instagram, which we'll talk about a little bit more after this. But the idea is that I started, really using different social media platforms as a means of doing streaming in that sense.
Amazing. All right. Well, let's why don't we start at the beginning? So obviously, if you want to live stream, it's great if you have experience. Great if you have a good camera, a good recording setup. Let's say I don't. I'm a musician. I'm a salt of the earth kind of musician guy. I got a guitar and I got a phone. I got a laptop, but it's maybe from 2012, and I've never live streamed in my life. I know nothing about the broadcast world, so I'm sure a lot of people out there are in this space where they really want to go live, but they don't have a lot of resources. So why don't we start there? So let's say I have limited resources. I want a really DIY setup. What's the move? What do I do?
Yeah. Totally. I think like that's probably the easiest place for anyone to start off. So anyone who's watching this live stream now, this is the reason why we're doing this, is because you don't need to have a super extravagant setup to begin live streaming. And just very quickly, I'm going to share with everyone a definition that I keep sharing a lot, but it's this idea of, okay, live streaming, what actually is it? It refers to online streaming of media that's simultaneously recorded and broadcast in real time. This is a definition that comes from a few different websites, and it also comes from, I think it's also on Wikipedia, some variation of it. But the idea is that you're connecting in real time with your audience through the internet. So it's very different from, for example, pre-recording a video and then sharing it on YouTube or something like that. But instead, you're using whatever technology you have to interact in real time. And that's the great part about live streaming, because you can do things like you can ask your watchers or your audience a question and have them respond in real time. And the great thing is that nowadays, most of the computers that we have, even some of the older laptops, like 2012 laptops, they do have a webcam. And that's actually what I'm using today to kind of demonstrate the capabilities of what you can do with your live streaming setup. You can use your inbuilt webcam in a lot of your laptops or your tablets. And you can also use your inbuilt microphone. I'm not using my inbuilt mic, but we'll talk about that as well a little bit later. The great part about using your inbuilt mic is that, again, it's in your computer. So you can already start making these two parts of your computer more integrated for your own live streaming setup, because it's already integrated in some sense.
Right. Absolutely. And I know for me personally, I have found that the onboard mic for your smartphone or laptop actually is pretty darn good if you're going straight live to Facebook, or if you're going straight live to Instagram.
Totally.
If you have a laptop and a phone, complicated. A lot of streams now are going through Zoom. Some are going direct to Twitch. Some are going through other streaming platforms, like OBS is a popular one people are using.
Totally.
And I know I found that when you're sometimes when you're talking to the onboard mic, when you're going through some kind of webinar software, the vocals sound really good, but sometimes the guitar can be a little out of phase. So one thing I would recommend to everyone is if you don't really have a complex audio setup or any kind of USB enabled interface capabilities or anything like that, just go live straight on Instagram, go live straight through Facebook Live's built-in live module, and your onboard mic is going to sound pretty darn good.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's funny because sometimes we often we were just talking about this before, Brian. But like, remember how we were talking about, oh, some people are worried that they only just have a smartphone, but your smartphone can do you wonders, which is kind of like a funny type of way that sometimes we think ahead of ourselves, and it's like we're anticipating problems that aren't already there. But
First
it's
world
like,
problems.
yeah, totally. And
I only
it's
have
like,
a smartphone.
it's like I can't live stream with just a smartphone, but you totally can. And in fact, a lot of the apps that are created by specific social media platforms are optimized already for live streaming. So, for example, you can go to Instagram Live directly from the app on your phone. You can also go live through your desktop immediately from, say, YouTube or Twitch. That's a great option also. And like you said, using OBS as a broadcasting software to do that. For anyone who's new to the live streaming game in general, OBS, that's the letters O, B, and S. It's a free open source type of software that allows you to connect to internet servers that will allow you to stream to different types of platforms. So common platforms would be Twitch or YouTube. Sometimes you could also go to platforms that let you stream to then multiple other platforms. So something like Restream.io is also great. That's a type of online browser-based software that will let you stream to, say, both YouTube and Twitch simultaneously if you wanted to.
Sure, yeah, and an OBS, which stands for Open Broadcast
Mm-hmm.
Software, it's totally free. It also allows you to aggregate other video signals and channels. So, for example, if you're using OBS to manage a stream, actually, I know Claire, we met at the first inaugural Stay the Beep Home Festival,
Yeah.
which created with our friends over at Sonic Bids, and that was a full-scale live streaming music festival. And so now we're working with OBS, and there's a lot of capabilities there. You can
Awesome.
send a Facebook call, you can send in through Skype or Slack or anything like that. You can even recapture a Facebook stream. So OBS, you can ingest a lot of different channels. So for anyone looking for some high-end live streaming, definitely check out OBS. It's totally free.
Yeah, totally. And actually, on that note, maybe I'll just share where you can get OBS if you are interested in getting OBS. So this, everyone, is where you can get OBS. You can get this at OBS and their official website, obsproject.com/download. And you'll notice that it does run on various operating systems. So it runs on Windows, it also runs on Mac, and also on Linux. And you can download the installer for free. And they also have other places that you can get the installer if you don't want to download it directly. So GitHub, it's also available over there. And you can also get previous releases if you find that maybe a certain version isn't working for you in its most stable state. And actually, Brian, this is something that I just found out about last week. Yeah, last week, end of last week. But there's another great streaming platform called StreamYard. It has a very interesting type of, this is my StreamYard account, but the idea is that you can broadcast even from your browser. So it's like OBS from within your browser, and there's a free version as well. There is also a paid version, but the free version, I basically tried to experiment with it and do like a Twitch stream. So that's why you see my little Twitch icon over here. But the idea is that you basically have another broadcasting studio that's free for within your browser. So I'm just trying to test this out and test out the audio quality and the streaming quality in general. But I'll send an update when I find out more about this. It's StreamYard.com.
Very cool. And one thing that I actually just learned about and have been thinking about potentially purchasing is something called the iRig streaming interface.
Ooh, yes.
And that is that's an audio interface that goes right into your phone, and you can use a microphone, and that will embed easily in an Instagram Live or a Facebook Live. Have you ever used anything like that or any experience with that?
Yeah, sure. So I don't own an iRig, but I recently worked with someone who did, because I was trying to actually help them help them set up their live stream platform. So yeah, we definitely looked at the iRig, and we also had a little bit of a mixer, like what you currently see in the screen over there to the left of that. There's a little mixer. So we tried to incorporate that into my client's live stream setup as well. But yeah, that's super cool. And it's at
Cool.
a great price. It's like such a great price point. So
Definitely. All right. So now I think we've covered DIY. So let's say, we wanna have a good mic. As you can see, I'll just show you a little example just so you can
Sure.
actually hear the difference. So this is my built-in computer mic.
Right.
Sounds fine. Sounds great. And then this is now a condenser mic. So
Nice.
it sounds noticeably better. Now, how I'm doing this is I'm routing this through an audio interface, and I'm embedding that as my audio through Zoom, which is where we're hosting this stream. So yeah, let's say level up from DIY. We want an interface. We want good audio. We don't want to break the bank. We're not trying to spend thousands of dollars. What are our options if we want some good audio that doesn't really break the bank?
Sure. There are actually really lots of really great options out there. And I think an interesting observation that I made, and maybe Brian, you made the same one too, but since the entire COVID situation, so much gear has actually gone up in price as far as like live streaming goes. I only know this because I've been looking up different kinds of like hardware and software for the different people that I work with to just make sure I'm giving them the right advice. But some things that I remember used to cost, say, under $100 are now over $100, which is pretty interesting. But that said, sometimes you may not even need an audio interface at all, but maybe you need at least an external microphone. So one thing that I would recommend for consideration is perhaps a USB microphone. So I'll just share with you one that I've seen quite a lot of people use, and I used to own one as well. This is a Blue Yeti USB mic, and as you can see, it's about 100, slightly over 100 US dollars. But I owned this one when I owned it for a very long time, and I even used it not just for things like podcasting, but even just recording into it and doing types of vocal recording. So this could potentially be a good investment as well. And I do believe they have some other different colors, if you please. So that's always quite nice to have that. So USB mic is also an option. That said, on the note of an audio interface, just to make sure that everyone's kind of on the same page, an audio interface is basically a device that will let you bridge between your computer and some kind of external microphone. So on that note, this is a website that's called Lesson Squad, and it's a website that I share my personal gear recommendations for a lot of my students. But two of the items on this page, on my Lesson Squad educator page, are actually really great for starting off with your live stream setup. One of them is the interface over here that's called the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. This is the third generation of the interface, so it's definitely improved from its previous iterations, and it's created by a company called Focusrite. What this lets you do is it lets you plug in at least two microphones. So those are the two things that I'm kind of hovering over now. We see those jacks, and you'll basically be able to plug in some kind of microphone, such as the SM58, into that setup. So that's a very DIY type of setup. And if anyone's able to, I'm going to stop my screen share for a second, but I have a pretty similar setup over here just to illustrate with another similar dynamic mic. We call it a dynamic mic, which is different from the condenser mic that Brian has, but it's a mic that basically lets you connect directly to your audio interface through what we call an XLR cable. So this is something that you'll also need to connect this additional mic to your audio interface that I mentioned earlier. So that's an interesting option to consider, having maybe a small audio interface like the Focusrite and connecting it to a mic like this one. This is a Sennheiser, so it's not by Shure, but it's also a similar mic in the same family.
And yeah, that's a great point, Claire. And not only the great thing about the Scarlett 2i2, I have a Scarlett 18i8. It's basically the same thing with 4 channels. And then it doesn't even have to be a microphone. You can run an electric guitar directly in.
Totally.
One thing I do, I'm a DJ, so I have my Pioneer DJ decks. I can send my DJ decks through the interface, and then send a guitar through the interface. You can send a microphone through the interface. Then any track you can create in Ableton or Logic, you can export, just play back, use your DJ decks as a playback, and then run that. And then you have a monitor, and then you can sing over it. and then there you go. And I have found that the Scarlett's interoperability with Zoom is really, really good. And you can just select your interface as your Zoom audio channel, and then bam, you've got good audio. And it even integrates. There's good interoperability with Facebook Live and Twitch. So any streaming platform, if you just get a good Scarlett. Now just one thing to be aware of. I have noticed that M audio interfaces don't have great interoperability with Zoom.
Interesting.
So yeah, so and I've also even noticed too, getting a little ahead, but talking about video capture devices, certain video capture devices don't want to communicate with certain systems. So certain interfaces also don't want to communicate with certain softwares. So there's always going to be a lot of troubleshooting involved. But short answer, definitely recommend the Scarlett. And actually, if you look here's a website, and
Ooh, nice.
And they're selling a whole bundle for less than $300, and it's the Scarlett, the headphones, and then a stand and the mic, and I assume it comes with an XLR too. So it's less than $300. Also, not recommending you go out. We want to stay home and stop the spread. That said, I feel music is kind of an essential service.
Yeah.
and B&H is still doing pickups. So
right.
you can order this interface today, and you can put on your face mask and gloves and stay 6 feet away from everyone and take your own vehicle. And you could actually go buy this at B&H in Manhattan today. Now, I don't recommend going out, but you can do it. And so if you really want to get an interface and you're not sick and you'll say socially distanced, that is an option. You can actually go buy one of these today. And of course, shipping and UPS and USPS is all still shipping. So you can still order this and in theory get this very, very soon and optimize your own home live streaming setup. Cool. Well, let's talk. Okay, I've always wanted to build out a live streaming studio. I want to have good video. I want to have good audio. I want to have good lights. Any advice on that, or do you have any information for anyone that wants to go really really high end?
Yeah, sure. I think like the beauty about all of us being on the internet at the same time, and like you said, we're all trying to, be in the same, we're all in the same boat and we're all trying our best together, is that we end up getting lots of resources from other musicians and other people who are also live streaming. So like I learned so much from even just watching other people live stream and making notes about their setup. I mentioned this to a lot of people, but like one of my other hats that I wear is that I'm that of an educator. And one thing that I tell a lot of my students is you listen and you look. So you add like all of these observational things about the things that you see together. And so when you're listening to say one type of live streamer versus another, what makes them sound different? Is it actually the microphone? And usually for most part it is. So then you go in and you look and you say, okay, what is one live streamer using? Then what's another live streamer using for their other setup? So for me, even like whenever I watch another live streamer, I'm also making notes about, okay, how are they actually presenting their work? If they're a live streamer who is presenting music, which is most of the things that I deal with, for example, how are they organizing their screen? Are they actually maybe showing some music software? Do they have like a second camera set up? How are these things being organized such that the viewer, the audience, is actually in the best place to absorb the information that's presented in the live stream? So for example, in this case, like I wouldn't necessarily need to put up like a split screen or anything because I'm not like demoing a certain product, but this is more of a conversation. So that's why we have this particular setup. So I would say another piece of advice that maybe I would, or not a piece of advice, but a suggestion for some thought consideration is, who are you presenting to and how is what you're presenting appropriate? So for example, if anyone out there is an educator, for example, you might not want to always have yourself on screen the entire time. You might want to share your screen at some points in time with your students if you're sharing information with them. That's the whole premise of also me and Brian sharing specific links with everyone who's watching the stream. Like we're showing you specific pages on Chrome or browsers to push you in the right direction. So thinking about specifically how you're sharing information also and how that's laid out. Tomorrow I'm doing a live stream on how to use this device over here that's called the Ableton Push. It's a music piece of hardware. And for that purpose, I'm going to have a second camera set up so that I have half of my screen with me speaking and using this, and then the other half of my screen in a software that I use called Ableton Live, which I use to make music. And I wouldn't probably have that set up in this case because I'm not talking about push. So now I don't have the second camera for push. So things like this about general considerations about how you are optimizing your own presentation for the rest of your audience.
Absolutely. And just to I'll go ahead and I'll walk you through my little setup here.
Yeah, yes, please. That would be awesome.
I'm going to show you everything we got.
Oh no, you're good. No.
All right. And then also please, thank you, Claire, so much for being here. If anyone feels like thanking Claire for this information, her PayPal is above. Please
Thank you.
throw her, $10, $20, anything you can share. I'm sure it would mean a lot for everyone that's struggling. So if you feel like giving back, here's Claire's PayPal, and that would be lovely. Alrighty, let me just get rid of the background here, and I'm gonna go to my capture device. Hello. So
awesome.
This is my mirrorless camera. So I will go ahead and I'll walk you through everything. One moment. All right. Okie dokie. So here we go. Scarlett interface. Good mic goes into the Scarlett. This goes into the computer. This is my good camera. Now so the camera goes to the computer through this device. This is called a video capture card. Now, if you want to connect a camera, all you need is a video capture card. This is a Magewell device. Also Blackmagic, Envato. There's a lot of great brands. So just as Claire was saying earlier, how you can't really plug in an instrument directly to your computer and have the computer recognize and able to work with the signal. Same goes with video. So you can't just plug in a video signal to your computer and have them talk or get along. So all you need is this device. So it goes in HDMI on this end. It goes USB out here to the computer. This was like $200, but you can easily get one for less than $100. And all you need is a video camera that has a clean HDMI signal out. What does that mean? That basically means that it doesn't show the settings. So you actually have a clean video signal. And that's it. So literally,
Awesome.
how to do a live stream. If you just have a phone or a laptop, just use your onboard mic. It'll sound great. Don't route it through Zoom or anything else. Just go straight to Instagram or Facebook Live. If you want to get a little fancy with it, get a microphone, get an interface. You can get a Scarlett 2i2, Universal Audio, M Audio. There's dozens of products on the market. Get do your research. Just get a good USB audio interface with some preamp inputs. You route your audio device, your DJ decks, your microphone, your guitar, anything. You route that to your interface. You route your interface to your computer. You got a camera. You route your video signal from your camera through essentially a video interface. This is just called a HDMI to USB capture card. So write that down. If you want to connect good video, maybe you already have a camera. Maybe you have a mirrorless or an HDSLR. You just need a video capture card. That is it. They're not that expensive. They have them at BMH. You can pick one up today, and that is it. And as you can see, I got good video and good audio. This whole thing costs less than $1,000. Didn't break the bank. And this is an option for anyone out there that wants to get towards a more high quality stream. And It's not necessarily at all. Claire, as you were saying earlier, everyone's doing this now. What's really important these days is the content. People aren't as worried about the actual quality. This is a
Right.
time when we all have to work together and really support each other.
Totally.
So if you don't have an audio interface, if you don't have a good camera, don't sweat it. You can still go live directly to Instagram or Facebook. It's going to sound great. And yeah. Any other thoughts, Claire? Do you have anything else you want to share, or any gear that you want to show us on your end?
Yeah, sure. I think like maybe if I just could impart like a final thought to everyone is that everyone who's been watching, thank you all for tuning in. If you notice, neither Brian or myself are in a professional recording studio. We're literally in our homes because honestly, that's the only place that we can be in. But I guess the bigger takeaway from this is that even beyond this entire COVID situation, it doesn't mean that you have to stop live streaming. You can keep live streaming, and that can be a really great way to engage your audience even down the road. So maybe even think of this not just as a new opportunity, but as an investment into your own way of sharing information with other people. If you can nail this down now, you'll be able to have the skills that you can take you like months and years ahead away from this situation. So that's something that you can do to really make the best of this time.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Claire. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Please follow Claire dolltr on Facebook and Instagram. Claire's doing a ton of live streams, a ton of performances. Please check out her music. Please follow Launch. We're doing a lot of great live streams. We're going to be doing a workshop every Wednesday at noon. We'll do everything from wellness to live streaming to beat making. Hopefully Claire will be back. And we have the Stay the F Home Festival, something we did in partnership with Sonic Biz. That's actually how I met Claire. And that is a live streaming festival we're doing every Friday. So please keep it tuned to Launch. We're doing a lot of cool things. Please follow dolltr, support if you can. And thanks so much for watching. Good luck with all your live streams out there. Just shoot us a Facebook message if you have any questions, and happy to share some links. I'll share some links on our page of some of the products and devices we spoke about. And that's about it. Thank you all.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
All right, signing off. Now go wash your hands for at least 20 minutes. All right, take care, Claire. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone who tuned in, and enjoy the rest of your week. And we'll see you out there in cyberspace. We are separate together. All right, let's rock and roll. Take care, everyone. All right, well, that was tonight's show. Tonight we saw Cello Joe making dubstep with the cello. We saw some Brooklyn pals creating their first live jam since COVID started, and we learned about some live streaming with the amazing, energetic performer known as dolltr, who is also a Singapore-born music technologist named Claire Marie Lim. Thanks for watching. We are Launch Global. We are on a global mission to transform the music industry so that it supports artists, and we would love to have you be a part of it. Got a little link to our WeFunder below. Check it out. Just, click it, read it, and set up a call. If you want to set up a call with me, just shoot me an email, brian@launchglobal.co. Would love to hear your ideas. Would love to have you be a part of our conversations. And, it's a very, very interesting time for music. I think it's a blank canvas. And let's create the future of music together in broad strokes. I am Brian Stollery. You have been watching the Nightly Launch, and we'll see you tomorrow, 7 o'clock Eastern, right here on launchglobal.tv. Peace.